All right, Kyron, Ross, Trell. Appreciate you fellas joining us here at Line Impact, man.
No problem. Yes, sir.
All right, guys, let's get straight to it. Is marriage worth it? So I think, what is it, Dr. Dre, he's having to pay $3 million a month. I don't know if it's a month or a year after his finalization of his divorce. Mm-hmm. So when you look at it all from a man's point of view, especially out in states like California, is marriage worth it? Now, I know marriage might be a good thing, but is marriage worth it when you look at the aftermath of things and where you kind of sit as far as not having the kids and having to pay the child support and pretty much not even standing a chance in the court system? Is it worth it for you? In your mind, are you thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm still getting married, or do you have different views about it?
I believe marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's scary out here because it's meant to really harm the man. Mm-hmm. In the end, you know what I'm saying? With divorce, you're not paying half. You got to pay the lawyers, all of that. Like it's crazy. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, but it's.
So does it intimidate you guys whenever you see guys
yes.
who are kind of losing everything? You hear some of the stories of your friends and uncles or whatnot. They may have done wrong, right? They might have messed up to bring it to that point. But I think I must have been watching Vlad TV at one point, and he talked about in California, after 10 years of marriage, I think on the 11th year, if that individual decides to divorce you, you've got to pay, alimony for the rest of her life.
The rest of her life?
Does that make, the rest of her life. Now, does that make any sense? Now, I think if you're only married for like 5 years, I think, then you're only having to pay that alimony for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
But if she can manage to be with you for 10 years, especially if you're a superstar, you're making a lot of money, mm-hmm. she's able to pretty much live the rest of her life off of you. Now, I think that's correct. Now, when you hear something like that, does that kind of make you feel like, wait a minute, that is no way near fair?
It's not.
It's not including child support yet.
It's not fair, especially if the guy was actually a decent guy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you were an asshole, then yes, whatever you did to that woman, and if she's scorned, she's just scorned. You don't have to deal with it.
Mm.
So whatever she takes you to court for, and the judge bangs that gavel and says, "This is what you got to do." You have to man up and hold that.
So now, does that affect marriage though? Whenever a guy sees, so put yourself in this perspective here. You see what's possible, and then you know who you are, right?
So why get married?
Right. So then that would mean that marriage might not be worth it today.
Yeah.
For some.
Yeah.
For some.
What are you saying, Ross?
I think marriage is always going to be worth it. No matter the obstacles faced, no matter the things, the trials, tribulations that's going on
mm-hmm.
currently. Because we, especially in our community, we have to build, we have to build through marriage. That's the only way we're going to get better as a race. You have to find a person that sees your views, that wants to build with you. And no matter what, you can have the conversation about prenuptials and things like that. You have to.
Women don't like to hear that, right?
They don't, but you have to have
Okay,
that conversation.
So does that mean you notice the red flags before you get down on that knee and say, I want you to be the one that I spend the rest of my life with?
I don't think... Well, red flags. Everybody's gonna have red flags.
True, but there are some red flags that are deal breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are gonna be red flags when you marry that person.
So let's say, for instance, right, before you propose and you get engaged and then get married. Say for instance, y'all have a big fallout, mm-hmm. right? And in that big fallout, you actually see how she actually acts when she's pissed.
Right.
Is she spiteful? Is she vindictive? Like, does she try to break you down when she get mad? Because if that's the case, then we're gonna have to have a talk about if this is really the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Now, if we can actually have a civil conversation and sit down and act like adults, then yeah, maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna attack me and try to break me down, then I might not want to do that, because if in the long run and in the end You tried to take me for everything I got.
So, all right, which brings up a good question. How long should an individual date before they get married? So how long do you think a woman, assuming she's pretending, right? Mm-hmm. And how long do you think that an individual should date to see where, hey, you know what? 5 years of dating, 6 years of dating, I think I pretty much got the gist of who she is in good times and bad times. Mm-hmm. Can a female or a lady, can she pretend long enough just to get you to marry her before she shows you her true colors? And if so, how long do you think you need to date so you can see as many red flags as possible before you do end up marrying her?
You know, we actually had that one lady, Miss Ava. She dated for what, 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
12 years.
12 years, man.
That's
so
that's a long time.
I don't think it's any woman out here waiting that long.
Right.
I'm not gonna wait that long.
So what's the time frame then? What do you think?
I don't think it's an all size fits all.
Of course.
But I know a quicker way you can find out is you don't have sex before marriage. That's the quickest way you can find out.
That's a tough one.
And I say that because we already know sex can blind you.
Oh,
absolutely.
There's been women that we've pretty much dated before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That they was crazy as get out of here. You saw flags all day, but the sex was
the box.
Yeah.
You was like, man, I can't let this go. I ain't never had nothing like this.
It enhanced the feelings.
Oh man, and then now you have soul ties and you really don't even know them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we pretty much lived a little bit to see that, dang, you know, I see why guys said no sex before marriage, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the problems that we went through with women was because of the sex.
That's all you're thinking about. Yeah, you're right.
9 times out of 10, a lot of stuff we went through could have easily been avoided.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because I think for a lot of guys, once the sexual attraction is gone, you start looking at the female like,
wow, I really like this.
What what is it that I'm doing with you again?
Yeah, you start seeing the uncommon things that y'all don't, have.
Because making love can't help you pay bills or get you to where you need to be. Mm-hmm. So that can only last so long.
Exactly, because just think about it. You bring a chick to your house, right? And this is before y'all even have sex. You know, you're like, oh man, I need this. And you know, the aftermath, you're like, man, I don't even want them here. Like, get out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything they do just makes you angry. Like, so that there will tell you, you know, if you really want to be around that person or not.
Yeah, we know we become compatible sexually before we become
exactly. We do it backwards.
With you know, just as a friend with the person. I think it's with men. I think it's 4 seasons, maybe in a year. We would know if we want to spend the rest of our life with someone. And I think it's a process that we should go through, but we tend to never do it. And it's a hard process. It's with getting to know someone, dating, and then deciding if you want to be in a relationship. And I think every stage has to have a conversation. Every stage you're going to go through things. And even when you become married with someone, there's still going to be changes along the way.
Absolutely.
You got to become mother. So I think it's an ongoing thing, and you just have to continue to grow with that person. And like, look, I love this person no matter if they change or not. It's still worth it. I still want to grow with them.
Okay, so now let me talk about looks really quick, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you're younger, you're pretty shallow for the most part. You're just looking for the prettiest girl, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. As you get older, do you guys kind of feel like you're finding beauty in character as opposed to just in what you see?
Looking more for a quality woman rather than just a pretty woman.
Right, so can you fall in love with a girl now that may not be, you know, that looker that you would normally go for, but because maybe you start kicking with her, you start to hang out with her, and she starts to care for you, can that touch you in a different kind of way?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm still a man.
Okay.
So
I'm not saying ugly now. I'm just saying, can she catch you off? Can a woman who you would normally not go for catch you off guard with love? Yes. I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying that she's just unlookable. You just can't look at her. But can a woman that maybe you wouldn't naturally just go for catch you off guard?
Yes.
And make you feel some type of way.
Here's my thing. How does she catch you off guard if you're not even looking in her direction?
Well, let's just say it's at the workplace. Right? Okay. Yeah. Let's say it's at the workplace.
Let's hypothetically say, y'all got the same sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got the same sense in, food, movies, things y'all like to do entertainment wise. You know, and y'all hang out. Let's say y'all hang out, y'all go watch a movie, get some lunch, whatever. And y'all actually have a decent conversation. You know, and you're like, dang, man, you know,
right.
This girl, she's pretty cool.
Right. And
are you not now looking at her kind of like,
She may not have everything you want, but there's some things you can take away.
So
and then the second day, not to cut you off. The second day, you go over to her place. You know, she cooks a meal for you. You find out she knows how to cook. You know, are these things that you're now seeing? You're like, hey, man, she a good girl.
I still feel like you have to be attracted to her in some kind of way to be spending that much time with her.
But right, and that's what I'm saying. Can
of course,
right? Can a woman who you are not necessarily physically attracted to first start to become physically attractive because of her character or the love or certain things that she starts to do for you over time, where you're like, where you're growing to love her, and it didn't start off that way. So I think I said in the last podcast with the other ladies, and I asked, if you're asking God to bring you a woman, right? Bring me my wife. Bring me the woman that's good for me.
Be specific.
But I really believe in most cases, because of our flesh and who we are, God might actually bring somebody that's good for us, and we don't want them. How many women are with men that they chose that God would probably never choose for them, and say, no. But you just looked at him, the pocket, right? Whether his pocket was loaded, whether he looked like Chris Brown or whatever.
He got good hair.
He's got good hair. Whatever it may be, you picked him for that, but he's actually not good for you. The other dude who you feel is maybe nerdy, a little weird, a little awkward, whatever, he's actually good for you long term, but you don't even look at him. And you see the Chris Brown guy coming towards you, and you're like, you know what, God, this must be my guy. This is for me, because you like it. Long term, you might not. So I guess my question is, does a woman have the ability to catch you off guard that maybe not necessarily be that looker that you would always approach at the grocery store, wherever you may go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that probably the best type of love to get, to have and find?
Yes.
As opposed to just physically seeing a woman?
Like, I do see a lot of older people that are married. You can ask them, hey, what was your type when you were younger? It'd be something completely different from who they married to.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, you know, like my grandmother, you know, she wanted a guy that was like that. She grew up in the 70s, so she wanted a guy that looked like El DeBarge.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But my grandfather was the complete opposite of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she wanted that, but my grandfather, he's been good to her. You know, he's been married for 40-some years.
Wow.
And that wasn't even her type.
Wow, see that?
You know, so, hey.
So moving forward, fellas, are women today becoming more like men?
Hell yeah.
And why do y'all think that? I mean, let's
started a long time ago, though.
I hate to say this on camera, you know, but an older guy told me this. He was like, as soon as, I'm not even going to say the world, I'm going to say the United States, as soon as they told us that we're all equal, you know, and women's rights and all that other stuff,
correct,
equal pay, then they started to believe that we thought alike as well.
That's an interesting concept.
And even in the Bible, it says we're not alike. We wasn't made the same. We think differently. You know, and
our roles are different.
It is, and I even figured that out when I grew up in a house full of women. You know, they didn't really understand me, and I didn't understand them. You know, they was thinking I'm supposed to think with my feelings, and I don't. You know, so it was a lot of arguing. You know,
being rational.
Exactly.
You're rational. You're looked at as a bully.
Yeah. And not only that,
or mean,
insensitive.
Yeah.
Not only that, the feminine and masculine it's like us men are being told, oh, don't be masculine. You gotta be feminine. And they telling the women they need to be masculine, so that the roles are being switched at that. So
speaking of that, do you think it's? Oh, did you have something, Ross?
Yeah, I know Ross had something. I'm sorry.
I agree with what he's saying, but it's just like it goes back to the structures of the families. You have so many women who are doing it by themselves, so they have to take these roles.
It's like you take the gender roles out of the household to where you see one person doing it all.
Yeah.
You see, let's say you got a single mother household. Well, now you see that single mother being tough on her boys, you know, when she's really supposed to be the nurturer of her boys, you know what I'm saying? To where you see those single mothers, you know, being tough on their girls, and now the girls are tough on the guys.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, I don't need a woman that's hard, you know, because if that's the case, you know, if I want to be around somebody that's hard all the time, I can go kick it with the fellas.
Yeah.
I don't want to come home and kick it, you know, with you and you act like the fellas.
Wow, you know what? I want to make sure that you guys all agree with that here, because I think that a lot of our female viewers might not understand what you mean by that. Your general guy, does he want to be with a woman who is like him?
No.
Nah, you gotta have the yin and the yang.
So you want your lady to be sensitive?
Yeah, I need my girl to be soft.
Right.
I need
Okay.
I think
feminine.
it all depends on what type of household you grew in. Because if you grew up with a mother that wasn't that way, that wasn't, you know, all lovey-dovey and all that other stuff, but she was hard all the time, once you go out and find a woman, you go want a woman to act like your mother.
Now, are you sure? Because if your nature is to be a certain way, now you have no outlet because you look in your partner. I think it's good for a woman to be strong, support.
True.
But at what point as a man are you able to kind of say, this is what I'm going through? Because if you're having to bottle everything up all the time and you've got no outlet, that'll kill you. That's stress.
Yeah,
correct.
And I think most men, especially in society, we've been told you got to be tough.
Yeah.
Suppress it.
Don't show that emotion.
Don't show that. And then once again, if a woman, and here's another trick, guys. So, but here's another trick. I think a lot of ladies at times will say, "I want you to open up to me." But then if you do make that mistake,
everybody go know your business.
and then you might even be looked at as a crybaby.
Yeah,
Correct.
like don't judge me.
So which one is it? You want me to be?
You rolling the dice at that point.
But see, I'm private, right? So you're telling the girl's telling you you're private. You don't talk to me. You don't discuss things with me, right? But she still respects you. But then the moment you get the pillow talking, all of a sudden she starts to look at you different. Because if you're complaining too much, you might strike fear in her. This is the guy that's supposed to lead me. Lead me where?
He can't even handle his
So
own
who
problem.
do you talk to?
Right. Not to say that you don't know what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that you're not nervous, that you don't worry about things. But you can't express that worry to her. You might shake her.
Yeah.
Right?
Because now she looks at you as like her foundation is crumbling.
Right. And thank you for saying that's the point
when
I'm
the
trying.
foundation crumbles, it's like, okay, well, you know,
I can't build on this.
exactly. It's time for me to jump ship.
Man.
I don't need you to jump ship. If we're in this together, then I need you to be my support system. I need stroke my ego a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me that I'm doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Instead of telling me, I don't want to hear that right now, or why you acting like that?
Or this
you
could
know?
be better.
This goes on to another thing too. You know, I know you've noticed this too. Once you tell a woman how you feel about them, you know, oh, I love you, all lovey-dovey, their attraction of you goes down. Like,
Start to validate them for some reason that you and I love that you're saying that, man. It's so weird, fellas, how in society, or with the way things are, on paper, it seems like a lot of ladies are saying they want a gentleman, they want this, they want that. But once you give them what they say they want, they don't respect it.
You too nice.
You too, yeah. But then whenever you're a butthole, you know, or for lack of a better word,
sky's the limit.
or let's
Facts. Facts.
I hate to say that, but it is what it is.
Nah, for real.
So what does that say about ladies?
They don't know what they
That
want.
they don't know what they want. They're indecisive.
You gotta decide for them. I'm sorry for putting that on camera.
So I think they'll take it in context. So you mean to tell me? So you mean to tell me? Are women raising, for the women who have boys? Are women raising boys that they would never date?
Yes.
Well,
I want you to think about that.
I think
Yes.
Are they raising boys that they would never date?
You know why? Because your mama gonna tell you you need to be respectful. You need to be nice.
Right.
Girls don't like it when you're mean to
Right.
them. And then you get out here and you start dating and you're nice And then these girls are looking at you like, hell nah. Because you're too nice at that point.
Right.
You're very passive. You're trying to be sensitive and attentive, and that don't work all the time. It don't. You know, it's like, okay, if I'm this way, then, you know, you look at me as I'm soft. So, you know, so where it's too much that I'm too soft. And then when I turn up, now you're looking at me like, oh, I didn't even know you had this side to you. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been passive and I've been giving you chances to see, you know, that I can, you know, be a nice guy, but don't take my kindness for weakness.
I think the relationships are reversed.
Yeah,
I think mothers are treating the sons the way they should be treating their daughters, and they're treating the daughters the way they should be treating their sons. So in these type of relationships, when you have a one woman household, one parent household as a woman, the relationship with her son is more of a boyfriend girlfriend type
Man,
relationship.
all right.
And the relationship with her daughter is more of a homegirl type of relationship.
So now is that? So are you indirectly saying that a lot of our guys are soft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we grew up that way and they're spoiled. So they expect women to do all of this for them because that's what their mothers did.
And I'm glad you brought that up. So with that being said, and you brought this up as well, Trev, do you think it's a crime becoming a man then?
Yes.
In this society nowadays?
Just like it was, and I think it was then, and I think it's even worse.
Yeah,
now.
you don't get that judgment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Because us men are we're competitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're competitive. Even as kids, we was challenging each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bet you can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Races and stuff.
Yeah.
It's one thing to get it from another race, but now we're getting it from our own.
And now the world is looking at us as if we're too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's our nature.
So do you feel like a lot of guys right now in society, men, like it's just worldwide, especially due to the feminist movement, do you feel that at this point you're being told, shut up, just fall back, you got nothing to say no more?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're trying to suppress that masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you say too much and your beard's too thick, that's toxic. That's this. That's that.
Masculinity.
Toxic. That's the word I've been hearing. So what is that? What is that to you guys? Toxic masculinity. What's that in your opinion? Is it just being overbearing as far as women sit down, shut up, get in the kitchen, or is it just?
I'll give you one. Let's say, I don't even know how this world is today. I don't even know how to really say this.
Okay.
To me, it's like when you see stuff on social media where they say single mothers should be praised on Father's Day too.
Oh yeah, that's
crazy.
Man, I saw that.
That is crazy.
Why? Why? You're not a father. You're a mother, and we praise you on Mother's Day. Don't take Father's Day away from us.
Mm.
So is it selfish for a woman to say, I'm gonna have a kid and I can do it by myself?
Yes.
Is that selfish to think that you can raise a child by yourself?
I don't even know what it made. Never mind.
It's not made for this. It's not.
I mean, because I've always looked at that and I said, I know it's a prideful thing. And I think it's good that women are prepared to say, well, I can do it on my own. But I think that when you're looking at the child, I don't think any child wants to see his mom and his dad separated or him just doing it with, it just being my mother. I think children want to be in their father's lives.
Because it's not something that's consistent. You have a consistent mother, but when it comes to having a consistent father, it's like you lack in that area. And I get it. Some people might say, oh, well, they had male figures in their lives, like uncles and, cousins. And I get it. That's cool.
Right.
It's cool that somebody stepped in and tried to show them, but it's not consistent enough.
Yeah.
It's never going to replace a father.
Exactly.
And to be fair, there are men and women that have to be single parents because
they don't have a choice.
Because they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And so you have to try to balance that and figure it out. And it's tough. It's hard. Some people do, and some people don't. They figure it out. Some do, some don't.
Now let me ask you this question, Ross. Do you think women, and I do know that there's a lot of single fathers out there, but when it comes to women, because they're the givers of life, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that women should protect themselves with marriage in regards to having children? So in short, using marriage as security for the child. So, okay, I know that I can't keep a man in a child's life just through marriage, but I think it's a good foundation, a good way to start. Or is it okay for women to just continuously have these children out of marriage? Should a woman say, hey, look, I'm not giving you a child until I'm married, period?
Facts.
Would it reduce a lot of the things that were...
It would reduce a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these days, you know, here in the year 2021, I feel like women don't care about getting baby mama. They don't care.
Yeah.
Their priorities are not, you know, because nobody values marriage, you know, like they used to.
No.
They don't value marriage.
So it goes back to Esteban's question, whereas women are becoming more like dudes.
Yeah.
To where they don't mind. I'll see you every Wednesday. I'll see you every whatever, and we'll do what we got to do, and you can leave after that.
I ain't with it,
Mm.
man. Damn, do I sound like a woman?
Just want something stable.
I do. I want something substantial. You know what I'm saying?